On the 17th of July 2021, Kai speak because if I see something, I say something. Minister of Foreign Affairs Darren Henfield, the member of Abaco, North Abaco, cannot speak. How could you speak for people whom you haven't spoken to in 4 years? How can you care about a people that immediately after Hurricane Dorian, Darren Henfield hitched the ride on the United States chopper? Mind, they all promoting Chinese, but I didn't see no China and no Chinese helicopters. They were all Americans, like we're in a war zone. All you could hear, whoop, 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 all day, all night. The Americans and the British helicopters. How could Darren Henfield go to Green Turtle Key from Dundastan, Cooperstan to Crown Haven and skip over to Grand Key and speak for people when he haven't spoken to people 2 years after the hurricane? Right now in Bakers Bay, we have a crisis. We're in a crisis mode in Bakers Bay because I thought it was over before Bakers Bay were bringing in the Mexicans. Now Bakers Bay have subcontract certain venues to American contractors. And now the American contractors yesterday brought in about 40 to 50 Mexicans. You imagine that you got a contract to work in the Bahamas and you would not advertise or look for workers within Freeport, Nassau, elsewhere in the Bahamas. You would charter a jet. These guys are coming in directly from Mexico into the Marsh Harbor Airport on private jets. That's so lucrative the contracts are in Bakers Bay. And they don't look for Abaconians, Bahamians. They jet in Mexicans, 50 at a time. You think the Minister of Foreign Affairs does not know? What is Bakers Bay giving him to campaign on? I would like to let North Abaco know that every one of those Mexicans that Darren brought in, they cannot vote in the upcoming election. I want you all to remember every person that K. Forbes Smith gave the contract to do the roofs and to do other things that were not Abaconians. They cannot vote for Darren Henfield. It's a number game. I want to encourage everybody that was slapped in the face by what's going on by an incompetent member of parliament in Darren Henfield to register. Your vote matters. Most of the time, over the past 40 years, your vote only mattered on election day. There's many persons that told the people that voted for me that you wasted your vote. Well now then, 4 years in, Kai Mills is still speaking to the issue. Who then raised their votes? The person that voted for Renato Curry and Darren Henfield. There is an example of irresponsible member of parliament and leadership in Darren Henfield that you dare not speak to people. Some 2 years in. To date, in Abaco, all week we still have issues with the water. You imagine that 18 months we couldn't take a shower in Darren Henfield's biggest constituency of Dundastown, Central Pines, and Murphytown. And today, we are, for the first time in our 48 years of independence, we have solar panel at the well field at the Marsh Harbor Airport Depot, and we still cannot get water. Dove Plus is no more. Memorial Plus is no more. A&K is no more. all these big agencies that sucked up so much water does not exist anymore. So the water should be busting through the pipe. But this week and every other week since Hurricane Dorian, you still cannot take a shower. Does the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Darren Henfield, take a shower? Hell yes. Does he care? No, he doesn't. He haven't addressed no issue of concern to Kai Mills nor the residents of Abaco that got him chauffeur driven. Every time you see Darren Henfield come to Abaco, him and his wife, the Bahamas government give him monies. Every time, $300. You imagine you're the member of parliament for Abaco and you get monies to travel to your district? Unacceptable. And then we have to pay his wife to accompany him? This is what's going on. But Bakers Bay is in a dangerous mode right now with COVID-19. You imagine that Bakers Bay brings in people that knowing that they have COVID-19, and then they put the Abaco, the North Abaco, the Bahamian workers to clean these rooms without mask or any such thing. And just yesterday, as I was speaking, these Mexicans come in. Are they checking them to see if they don't have COVID-19? Are they checking them to see if they have a fake PCR test? Something is going on in Bakers Bay. If they could send out a memo stating that immediately all staff of Bakers Bay must wear a mask inside and outside, and no exception. Any black brute that there, you have to wear a mask. And this is an immediate bulletin, because the management knew that there's COVID-19, but at the last minute, they are alerting their employees. So what happened? It's gonna spread like a wildfire. They're gonna bring COVID-19 off Bakers Bay throughout Abaco. So we are in a crisis mode, buddy. It is dangerous time. And the serious part about this is, even if you have already gotten the COVID-19 test shot, you still can get the virus and you still can spread it. It is evident that the Yankee game has to be shut down just this week. 2 of the Yankee players tested positive for COVID-19 after taking the expensive vaccine shot. They didn't take this little cheap shot that ministers throwing on the Bahamian people. They took the expensive shot. The New York Yankees can afford it, but they have to shut the stadium down. They have to shut the games down in New York. So are they going to shut Bakers Bay down because they know COVID-19 is there and they know that it can be transmitted to their staff that did not take the COVID-19 test or shot? No. They don't care about the black brutes. Let them die. They'll replace them tomorrow. Does Darren Henfield knows about this? Does he care? Hell no. He's one of the elite while he's elected. But soon, and very soon, he will feel the brunt of the neglect that the people of North Abaco is feeling. That is why I say vote for Kai. And don't be embarrassed, because Kai does care. Again, we're in a crisis mode when you see that Bakers Bay sent out a memo effective immediately. All associates must wear a mask without any exception, indoors and outdoors. And it's no exception. That is what's going on in Bakers Bay today. Kai cares. Now you know. And don't mind the Bahamas government when they say they do contract tracing in Abaco. That's an absolute lie. They don't do contract tracing here. You got it, you got it. This government has actually absolutely written Abaco off when it comes to caring for Abaconians and the Bahamian. We doesn't matter. We don't count. 2 years in, nothing is priority to this uncaring F&M government. And it's hard. I know it's hard for y'all F&M to say that you're supporting Darren Henfield. Ask yourself, why? Because you're a political gooey and you can't do no better? What if Kai Mills was not running as the independent candidate for the coalition? Look at the choice that you have within the Progressive Liberal Party. We didn't even call his name. But how could you vote for somebody who haven't even given you the decency to speak to you so that he can speak for you in the Honorable House Assembly? He doesn't care then, and he doesn't care now. We have seen more of the backs of Darren Henfield than the front because he doesn't care. Kai is on the ground and Kai cares. Vote for Kai, and for God's sake, you don't have to be shy. You don't have to be embarrassed. Be proud that finally, you shall and you will get good, decent, respectable leadership with integrity that cares not for himself, but I understand the role that I'm about to take up, and that is to be a servant for the people of North Abaco. Ask yourself, has the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Darren Henfield, has he been a servant to and for the people of North Abaco after the worst storm in the history of the Bahamas, indeed the Caribbean? Darren Henfield have not had a meeting, not one, absolutely not one meeting with his people, because he didn't care then. 4 years later, he still doesn't care. Kai cares. That's why he's still here. Vote for Kai and don't be shy.